Hello, everyone. I am just going to get us set up here. Okay, I have my comments ready because I know there's a bunch of you on here that are going to ask questions. I have the beautiful Dr. Kristi Teague with us tonight. We have some exciting announcements to share, and I'll just let her actually introduce herself. So you and I have known each other for a while now, us
Yeah,
and Candace. But
a couple.
tell me about all the things.
Yeah, well, hey everyone, welcome. My name is Kristi Teague. Went to Belmont for pharmacy school here in Nashville, got my MBA, and stuck around the area. Launched a business, went to residency, all at the same time. It was pretty crazy, but
Oh my goodness.
been doing functional medicine through my functional pharmacist with Candace Bertner for the last 4 years, and then full time for the last year. So it's been a journey. It's been really fun, and I'm so glad we got to connect with you. We recorded a podcast recently. We're going to launch it soon, and just confirmed how alike we are, Christina. So happy to be stepping into your audience. So.
And I never knew that your name was Christina.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that wild?
Because a lot of people do, they'll like say Chris or Christy or Tina. And I'm like, wait, that's your name is my name. Wait.
It makes sense.
um,
Those
so
kindred
you are a trailblazer because you brought the first dog to one of my conferences. So that was so much fun. I love that. And I love that that hotel was dog friendly. I had no idea.
it was super convenient for us. So it was an
Yeah.
added perk of the great conference. I'm still talking about with people. So
Oh, what was your favorite part? I'm just curious. I'm putting you on the spot now. Oh my gosh, look
goodness.
how many people we have on here. We have 4 people already. Look at
Yes, all
this.
right. Gosh, I think just connecting with other like-minded people, especially after, post-COVID era of feeling kind of disconnected, or only connecting online. So it was really nice to jump into that, especially in a more intimate setting. It wasn't too big that you couldn't have those deep conversations. So just the people and learning from you and all of the nervous system work was awesome too. So
Yeah, awesome. We have Melinda here. I have the comments pulled up, so ask away.
great.
This is your chance, everybody. I know people were chomping at the bit to hear from you and your expertise. And let's start off with our big announcement. So I get asked all the time from, I get functional medicine pharmacists, for pharmacogenomics clients, health coaching clients, a lot of pharmacists and business owners wanting to increase their profitability. And so I noticed a gap in my business where a lot of the functional medicine pharmacists are saying, can you help me set up practice better? And I'm like, I can't, but I know somebody who can. So I love to partner with people who, like, Kristi was just saying, there's such a synergy. And when we did our podcast, I just knew, and I cried, of course, because Candace like prayed, and then she like really could see my soul, like so into the depths of my soul. And I was like, these are the people that I want to collaborate with. So when I, keep hearing something over and over again, I'm like, okay, I want to create how do we bridge this gap? So I wanted to bring in someone that I trusted, that I love, that I've known for a long time, and that I know is an expert. And so Kristi and I are actually partnering together, and she's going to be part of my team. So if you are a functional medicine pharmacist and you are wanting to learn more about optimizing processes in your business or practice better, whenever you're a client, you don't pay to have access to Kristi because it's part of the package. So now we're collaborating together, and I'm so excited to highlight her and to just let her share about some of her expertise. So let's get down into the nerdy details dirty details about the about practice better, like whatever you want to start with. I know you love processes
Mm-hmm.
and optimization. That's really a strength of yours. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm so excited, thrilled. Definitely an answered prayer here of aligning different strengths, and so cool to be able to get to help your business in that way. And so I love operations, process improvement, optimization, all of those fun buzzwords have really been a theme for me throughout my MBA. That's really what I focused on with lean healthcare certification and different projects that we got to do. And then residency, I did a corporate residency with HCA here in Nashville. And again, that was another area. So this has really been threaded throughout. And so that's
Yeah.
been like my primary role with my functional pharmacist has really been searching for different softwares and systems of how can we make our patient experience more valuable. And so that just ties into your own processes and how can we make it efficient, but also
Right.
you don't want to the value and that one-on-one connection. So Practice Better has been one of the greatest tools that we've found. We found out about it about 4 years ago when we
Hmm.
were starting out, but we tried other softwares. But I just feel like this was the best with integrating all of your other systems together, just because it allows you to integrate with full script. If you use
Yeah.
that for supplements, Rupa Health for your labs, HIPAA compliant Zoom, Google Calendar. So I love it just because it checks off all those boxes and just makes everything come together to this nice symphony,
Mm.
you
Yeah.
know, ecosystem, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it's been great. As far as like the details of it, I would say the automations are another great feature that it provides. So when a patient comes to you, they don't have to wait on you. You can set up automations that allow it to run, behind the scenes. They don't know that this is all happening, but
Like
you
it
can
prompts them.
exactly. So
Yeah.
they can take care of, the billing, the booking, any health questionnaires that you've picked out, which, can sometimes be really time consuming in functional medicine. And, they get access to the EHR right away if you want them to start logging their foods, tracking their mood. So I think it's really comprehensive, and I've used it as a patient as well. They have an app that allows
Oh,
you to message
wow. Okay.
with a practitioner. Yeah. So Candace and I will message just like we're texting, but it just provides that boundary in your life that I know a lot of entrepreneurs are looking for.
Yep.
So yeah, I could go on and on about it. Is there anything that you want me to
Well, let's see if
narrow
let's poll our audience here and see if anybody has questions. Does anybody have questions, comments? Are you looking, like, I know Melinda, you were looking to have Practice Better in your practice. We're here. We're here to be of a support to you. If you're watching the replay and you have questions for Kristi, we're going to be watching over the next couple of days. I'm going to be posting this to YouTube. So this is going to be everywhere for, if you're a pharmacist wanting to integrate Practice Better into your practice, then, we're here to help with anything that you would like support with. So I guess I didn't even know that you, like, it's kind of cool to hear your journey of how that's all threaded through kind of
yeah.
leading up to your role now. So I guess, like, what's something that you love about processes that is easy for a tech dummy, question mark? That's what she said. Melinda's asking.
Oh, what do I love about processes? Is that what she's asking?
No, so Melinda, I started asking a question, but then we got something here.
Okay.
So she's asking, is it easy for a tech dummy?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Oh yeah, it's super easy. And if you feel like things are clunky, that's where, I would be happy to hop on a quick one-on-one with you.
Yep.
Or if you're Christina's client, that comes in right away and walk through, just some tools, because they do not have a customer service representative on standby. I will say that. And they do have great videos and you can email them, but I still think there's a lot of value in having somebody walk you through that. So I've spent a lot of time learning things myself, and I would love to just make that faster for those that I'm helping. That
Yeah,
makes
I
sense.
love that. And that's a big theme in my business too, is efficiency. And that's the value of hiring a coach, is that something that would take you 5 years to do by yourself and try to tinker and figure it all out, you could hire somebody and they help you do it in 6 months. That's really what you're paying for, is that expertise. Just like I think of whenever a dentist has to do a root canal, like, he went to school for all of those years to learn exactly what to do. And hey, let's pull this tooth out of there. Sorry if I'm triggering any bad memories for people, but it's the
Yeah.
same thing with a coach and with you. It's like, okay, well, you've troubleshooted all this, the hacks, the shortcuts. And so that's, instead of you fiddling around by yourself, it's like, hey, here's this thing, this person that's here to help you.
Yeah,
So it gets to be
exactly. So
easier.
definitely,
Hmm.
definitely. I wish I had a practice better coach back in the day. It would have been nice. So I'm thankful to be, in this role now to be able to serve that for other people. But I do think once you get in the hang of it, it's pretty easy to navigate, which is one of the reasons that we wanted it for our patients, because the app is really great with, as a lot of functional medicine practitioners know, like doing things as a habit is really key with preventative medicine, and really building in something that's going to be easy to adopt, because a lot of things we're asking patients to do can be hard things, lifestyle changes. And so all that to say is that it's very easy to access on your phone or your desktop, computer, whatever. But I like the app version just because it's, integrates into their daily life, which is ultimately what we want to do in functional medicine.
Yeah,
So
that's really brilliant. I never knew that they had an app too. That's so convenient.
yeah,
So
yeah.
back to my question, I think I was asking about like what's your favorite thing about processes or systems, like or even in your role, like that what you currently do with my
Mm-hmm.
functional pharmacist.
I just think the patient experience, just optimizing that, right? That's our goal. If we think about, of course, we want to make things easier for ourselves as business owners, but also you don't want that to take away from their experience. So just making things flow.
Yeah.
Like I'm always the type of person, like I'm standing in TSA and I'm thinking, oh, that person should have done this, this, like
Right.
auditing.
Right.
Um, and it's, it can be a good thing or a bad thing,
I do that
but
to my husband too. I'm like, you could have done, like, you could have
yeah.
saved all this time. Like I did this last night. Quick story. So he's like, men cannot multitask. Like, can I get an amen in the comments? Like, he's like putting fries in the toaster oven, and I'm like, you can start that too. So that's cooking. It was like meat or whatever. I'm like, just do that. And he's like, oh, okay. Like they can't multitask.
Yeah,
I try not
exactly.
to be a nagging wife, but I mean, he cooks me dinner, so I can't say anything. But I'm the same way. Like, my mind, I think, just looks, and that, I think it's being a pharmacist too. You're always looking at, like, okay, well, how can I make this easier or simpler? So, yeah, but
Definitely.
I like how you're talking about from like the patient perspective too, you know?
Yeah, because I think that's ultimately what all of us are after, right? No matter how far removed we get from that, that's ultimately the why behind a lot of things for people. So, yeah, I did that in a transitions of care role. I did it through med safety projects like lean healthcare. So a lot of different varieties, and then ultimately with my functional pharmacist, it's just been a good fit, and it definitely complements Candace's really like her clinical experience and hormones. And so that's kind of how we work together. And she's not the greatest with tech. She'll say that about herself.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
she practice better really well. She'll have me come behind her and just double check that she set up a new course or, a new offering correctly to make sure it looks right.
Yeah.
And then kind of tweak some things and tell her. So, that's kind of, I've already had a lot of practice with coaching somebody else with this. So I really think it's
Wow.
going to be a seamless,
What a
seamless.
what a beautiful partnership, and just how God divinely comes together. So that's how, I mean, like downloads. That's like I just get random down, and I'm like, okay, because I asked God, I said, okay, there's this gap in my business. Who should I call on? Because I know a lot of different functional medicine, and like you came to my mind, like, and then the same thing that happened with, you were on the speaker panel for
Mhm.
the conference. So it's funny how like these things, and then you and Candace probably came together, probably intuitively. Like I would love to hear that story too at some point, but
Yeah. Yeah, similar,
yeah.
definitely. I love when that happens. So, yeah, I mean, ultimately, it comes down to just making things smoother, more efficient. Life is crazy. A lot of us are trying to do this on the side at first.
Yeah.
I was doing it as a fourth year APPE student, and then residency, and then a full time job. So I understand that struggle of how can I make this work for me, and so that's why I had to learn all of the different hacks to make things more streamlined. So yeah, I would love to be able to share that with people. And then again, just the integrations are really great. Just because those are other tools that I was already using, so it just makes sense to use it within the same platform.
What other, I'm just curious, this question just coming to my mind. What other like business hacks do you, and I asked Christina if she knew you. I can't see you, Facebook user. Somebody's commenting, but I can't see who it is. You have to grant eCam access live, go to the top of the broadcast, and then if you type your name in, I can see. I didn't know. I'm just thinking of like business hacks or like things that you do to be more efficient in your life and or business. Just to
Yeah.
kind of talk about.
Well, you mentioned it at the conference, and I'm a fellow ClickUp fanatic.
Yes, yes.
So any type of project management software, I don't know, that's just how my brain works. I think a lot of other pharmacists can relate to that. So I used Todoist for a very long time as well, but ClickUp has more potential. I mean, you might not need something that massive, but yeah, for task management, it's great. Just because you can get downloads and you can just brain dump, within it and just
I
assign
give
the date.
myself tasks in there. I'm like, Christina, don't forget to, you
Oh,
know?
I'm always giving myself tasks. I actually made a personal one for my husband and I to share as well. So I like that ClickUp has that feature as well, where you can make separate areas. Again, just like trying to keep some boundaries in your life, because as an entrepreneur, that can be difficult, because you can, just work forever. It seems like some days.
I know. Yeah, it's funny. Like, I think of, typically we think of boundaries with like other people. I have to set boundaries with myself. I'm like, Christina, don't work today. It's
Yeah,
Sunday, but like, I love what I do. So I'm like, oh, but like, I want to do this. But then come Monday, I don't have the energy. So I have to set boundaries with myself sometimes,
yeah,
which is interesting. But
yeah. I
yeah,
think
ClickUp
emotion.
is really great. Go ahead.
Oh, and I was just saying, like from an emotional or spiritual perspective, best business advice would be to rest, prioritize that as well. Sometimes the most productive thing we can do is actually be unproductive, and then that recharges you to get back into it. So that's been
Yeah,
challenging. So I'm an Enneagram 3, and so I like to go
me
all the
too. Of course.
guys. And
The
so
achiever. Yep.
so I have to like tell myself that often. But yeah,
Hmm.
practical standpoint, just getting the right tools in front of you. I love, project management softwares like ClickUp. I mean, I know there's others. Gosh, what's the other one that I
Monday.com. Is that another one?
another one?
Hmm.
Yeah, there's several. Asana is another one I've used. My sister uses that with her startup, and they love it as well. Similar, because it can integrate with other things as well. But also just like starting out with the basics. You don't need all of this to really get going in the beginning. It depends on where you're at, right, in your functional medicine practitioner journey. But I
Yeah.
think started out with like practice better and G Suite. Like I think that was pretty in our website. It was pretty bare bones, and then you build and add all these other softwares
That's a
to.
really great point to just because yeah, we're like talking about ClickUp and people probably like, wait, what? I'm just if you're just starting, like don't do all the things.
Yeah,
Do one step at a time. Yeah, I can remember just feeling very overwhelmed by like technical things and like how do I run a newsletter and da da da. But, just take it one step at a time and that's okay. It's those incremental shifts that you make along the way that, like you said, you're building. It's building a business. So,
yeah, we're still building. I mean, I
yep,
think you're always growing, and if you're not, maybe take a step back and see where you can. So like,
yeah,
yeah, we added Shopify, and that was a whole learning experience to figure out how to integrate that into Squarespace. So, you have like all of these tools in your tool belt, and it's just learning how to either outsource them to people who can help you, like me,
yep,
Christina, and
yep.
other coaches out there. But yeah, just dialing it down to, okay, what are the core, 2 or 3 things that I need to get started.
Yeah. And I just think of, so I have kind of a top down approach when I have business coaching clients. So it's like, okay, what's the vision? What are your goals? And then I have these different profit pillars that essentially it's like marketing and sales, team and affiliates, finance, blah, blah, blah. And it's like creating those needle movers that you're doing. So like I'm hearing you say, like pick one or two things. It's kind of funneling into that too. It's like, how do we really distill down what we need to be doing on a monthly basis, on a weekly basis, so that everything is laid out in a clear plan. And of course, it's not always going to be following a plan, because you might get sick, you might have morning sickness, there might be life gets in the way. And so you can delegate and pivot and do all of those things. But I think even having a plan or something in place, like you're saying, like, okay, this is what I need to focus on to keep my business profitable, can be really helpful. So I totally agree with that. Having like, just like, what do I need to be doing? Because there are so many things that you could be doing. Accounting, all this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
And I love that Practice Better and some of the other tools make it a lot easier for passive income to take place. So even when
Like
you
full
do
script. Yeah.
get sick, or, I just went to Alaska on a cruise, and we got several supplement sales and got people to sign up for consults and things like that. And I was away. So, I mean, that is not something that necessarily takes place the first couple months of your business, but definitely a couple years in. It's fun to see that happen, to release that control a little bit. But Practice Better definitely allows you to do that, because you can set up all those automations. And so you don't have to be like, oh, I got this client. Okay, now I've got to send them the type form. Now I've got to send them, the client agreement. Now I've got to do Stripe and give them the payment and the booking through. And we used to do all of that separate in the very, very beginning. And it was a lot from the patient end to receive like 4 or 5 links. And I still see some practitioners doing that. And I will say Practice Better has a tiered offering. So even if you're just getting started, like, you can start at the lowest tier and still get a lot of benefit. So I know we said only, do 1 or 2 things, and sometimes you may have to, do a less efficient model while you're getting going, just from a price standpoint. But if you can make one of those things Practice Better, I really recommend it, because it takes a lot of load off of you. So hopefully that kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
But the tiered offering, we've gone up and down depending upon what season of investment we wanted to do for my functional pharmacist, and like where I was at with residency. We kind of scaled back a little bit on the tiered. We didn't need the full, pro plan plus, or whatever it's called.
Right. Right.
You know,
The different features I'm sure they have.
mhm.
Yeah. No, that
Yeah,
totally makes sense.
we've scaled up recently, and we had a student, so then we were able to add multiple users. So it is kind of nice. I think they have 4 or 5 different offerings. So I like that a lot of these softwares and services offer that. So
Right. So being flexible. So I talk a lot about like those inner things that we need to have, because we're like, all right, well, tell me what to do. How do I grow my business? But oftentimes it's being resourceful, persevering, pivoting, all the P's, I guess. And yeah, just like really being able to be flexible with like how you grow, how you change, like you were saying with residency, life happens. So we need to be flexible with what's happening. And as you
yeah,
grow, you can delegate, you can have different processes. So that's what I love about entrepreneurship, is it's so, there's no ceiling to it. And there's so much growth and collaborations and opportunities that can come from it. So I'm just so grateful I have you in my back pocket now, and I can go to Kristi.
like, yes, I love the freedom that it provides with, being flexible. And yeah, it's just been a great journey. So I'm excited for other people to get to experience it, and would love to support them in any way that I can. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, this was great. If anybody else, like I said, we will come back and circle back to the comments if you have any other questions. I see Melinda said, I have to remind myself I'm only one person. A tool to keep myself organized is much needed. I end up going down rabbit holes and getting off track. Yep. So it's coming down to really like dialing in and focusing your energy, right? Because if we're, oh, what
Mhm.
do I do? That's why having a plan, like I said, those profit pillars, and having a plan that says, okay, this is what do I need to do to move the needle in my business to, most businesses, I would say it's about client acquisition. Like, how do I, consistently call in clients? And we're going to be talking about that in the Pivot to Profit workshop. So just a little shameless plug there if you haven't signed up yet. I'm going to leave the link in the comments here. But we're going to really be distilling down, stripping away all the bullshit. This is what needs to be done in order for you to move the needle in your business and start calling in clients consistently, really breaking it down into simple steps. So anyway, if anybody has questions, we're here. We're here to love on you, to answer any of your questions. And yeah, thank you so much, Kristi. And any final thoughts?
No, just reiterating what you just said about just dialing in. Yeah, I think it's overwhelming sometimes with a big project. This can feel like the biggest project of your life, and not necessarily always having a due date, but just breaking it down and then breaking it down again and again. And sometimes I break it down to, a very small task, but it makes me feel, accomplished. And I know a lot of type A folks out there can relate. So I
Right.
don't know. That's just how you have to approach this when you need more accountability to yourself.
Mm.
So anyways, I hope that encourages you, Melinda, and I hope
Yes, and our mysterious Facebook user, I don't know who else was on here with us, but anybody watching the replay, again, we're here for you if you have any questions. And let's do the damn thing. All right.
yeah.
All right,
Awesome.
everybody. Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Kristi, we're going to stay on together. All right. Bye.